Oh, there's no way to start an episode. Cut.
I don't even know what of that got caught.
Probably
So.
nothing. Probably silence.
Yeah, probably.
No one heard me say.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, probably.
What? All right. You ready?
I'm ready.
Let's do this. Soup. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to SMSoup, the #1 podcast with soup in the name but not on the brain. I am Spencer.
And I'm Shelby.
And together, we're here to take you on a journey through life's biggest questions. Like, waiter, how is the soup made? I was thinking about it. What are all the different combinations you can have in one meal where you're eating something a bunch of different ways? And I feel like beef has to be the thing, but we've now
Oh, you're just saying like an ingredient
like
that you can eat so many different ways?
yeah.
Why beef?
Well, because with beef, because of the addition of dairy, you're eating like cow so many ways.
Oh, okay. I see.
And I can't think of anything else that would be on that level. But
Sure.
I bring it up because we've been eating ramen, and ramen oftentimes will have like chicken in it.
Yeah.
And then it'll also have like a soft boiled egg,
Yeah.
which is chicken 2 different ways.
Right.
So what's the deepest you can go?
I don't know. I mean, my brain thought more like food preparation, not really like parts of food.
Like when you and I have taco soup,
Yeah.
we have cow 3 times in there.
Yeah.
Because we have sour cream.
Yeah.
We have cheese.
Yeah.
We have beef.
Yeah.
If we use beef.
Right.
Sometimes we don't.
Right. That's a lot of cow.
And then beef broth.
Right.
That's cow 4 times. The furthest I was thinking
can you imagine
go,
getting a food handed to you and going, so how much cow is in here?
Yeah. How many cow ingredients are there? I was thinking about like if you did like chicken fried chicken, that'd be chicken twice.
Chicken fried chicken?
Yeah.
What is that?
I think it's when you like fry something, because there's chicken fried steak, and I think that's just steak fried in chicken oil.
Oh.
Or like chicken grease.
Okay.
But I don't know.
Sure.
So I could be making that up. But chicken fried chicken, and then you like crack an egg on top of it.
Chicken on chicken fried chicken?
Yeah, that would be raw chicken on. That would be infant chicken on chicken that was fried in chicken.
It goes so deep.
Doesn't go deep enough.
Oh, you want something further?
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out what the deepest you can go is.
I don't know. I mean, you could probably just do some. I'm sure one of those, like, you know, the people who like exclusively eat meat, and even on a step beyond that, eat like raw meat and stuff.
Yeah.
I bet they've come up with something.
Yeah.
Nasty.
Yeah. Their skin's also like yellow.
Right.
Because they're dying.
They're literally sick. Yeah. I think an all meat meal, which this does not even sound appetizing to me.
But at that point, you're literally just like creating something out of thin air. I'm trying to think of what is a like normal thing.
Okay.
What is something that like you could go to a restaurant and order it and then sit there and be like, I have 4 different, 5 different, 6 different cow in front of me.
Honestly, you saying the chicken fried chicken, I don't know anything like beyond that.
Yeah, but I also don't know if you crack an egg on chicken fried chicken.
I'm sure someone does.
Yeah, but again.
Yeah. I don't know. That's an interesting point. I never thought about that.
Anyway. What a long, strange trip it's been. Oh, man. What are we talking about today?
I don't know. Surprise me.
Oh, I know. So what are we doing next week? Next week,
you're
convincing me why birthdays are
Next
fun.
week, you're convincing me why I should hate birthdays. No, I'm convincing you why why I'm giving you. Apparently, I wrote it out. I don't know if it's gonna be this. I wrote it out. The episode as 27 reasons
you're
to
turning
like
27.
birthdays, but 27 is a lot.
It is.
I think we'll be lucky if I get to 5.
Well, Shelby, happy birthday.
Whoa, thank you.
I'm interviewing you
No.
for your birthday.
Didn't I do this to you
'Cause
randomly?
You did this to me. And it was so cool. Shelby's turning 27, everybody. This episode comes out
The week before my birthday. This comes out 4 days before my birthday, May 6th.
May the 6th be with you.
May the 6th be with 6th. I'm really bad at saying 6th. 6th. I can't get that extra S in there. It's not an S, but I can't get that X pronounced correctly.
I think 6th is pronounced 2 different ways.
I'd say Sith. May the Sith be with you.
No, you don't.
No, I don't.
People say 6th.
That's what I do a lot.
I
Because
do that a lot
all
too.
the spit in my mouth can't do the
I
X.
think that might be like a country.
You think so?
Bit of a country way of saying it. 6th.
It's my 6th day. Yeah, I totally.
You like kind of like just slur it.
Yeah. It's kind of just the TH.
Like I have to even I'm saying it right, 6th.
Yeah.
But even when I do that, I have to
Think about it.
Think about it.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
force
yeah.
myself to say the X.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So this comes out just before your birthday.
Yeah.
Just trying to get a gauge there, and then you'll be convincing me after your birthday.
Why we should love birthdays.
So you're turning 27. A
Big
lot of
year.
people say that that's about you're at like 72% completion at that point.
Yeah, for sure.
Not in terms of length.
Oh.
Length you're probably closer into like the 33%.
Yeah,
give
yeah.
or take. No, more so in just like accomplishment. And being,
Oh, like that's all I got?
yeah, like
I've done
You're
60%
almost
of
done.
what I'm going to do in my
70%,
life. Oh, sorry.
72%.
I've
Yeah.
done at this point almost 72% of what I've done in my life.
yeah, like it's going to become much more like
Sure.
repetitive from here on out.
Oh, it's going to get more repetitive.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, it should.
Oh.
But I mean, balls in your court. I'm just saying that's what
Sure.
many many people say.
Sure.
72%.
Did you just swap 2 and 7?
No. It was a made up number though, and so it is funny that yeah. I mean, I guess subliminally, I probably
Maybe.
did. So yeah, it's big. I mean,
No, that's big. I'm
you've
glad to
been-
know that I've done 72% of what I'm going to do in life.
Please, I'm asking the questions
Oh,
here.
sorry.
So you are, if you break your life into thirds,
Sure.
which you can now
Almost.
very easily.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
A third of your life has been adulthood.
Yeah.
Um,
What a long, strange trip it's been.
yeah. What do you think about that?
A third of my life being adulthood, I'd say that feels about right. I'd say I'm a step away enough
Okay.
that like it's not that I feel old, but I definitely no longer feel like a child.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Even though 2/3 of it has been me being a child,
Right.
I would say enough has been me being a independently functioning adult
Mm-hmm.
that I feel stepped away enough from that.
Okay. All right. I think that makes sense.
Yeah? You think the maths?
Yeah. Take me through what it was like being a child.
What it was like being a child. Well, I was a little bit shorter than I am now. So reaching stuff was kind of hard.
Mm-hmm.
But
No, like genuinely, take me through like
my childhood?
Yeah, what was it like being a child? An alien just fucking took over my body. Yeah, just real quick. I'm trying to come up with a baseline.
Take me through it.
Yeah. What was it like? I mean, of course, I've also been a child, but
Take me
your
through it.
experience.
Yeah.
No, okay. In all seriousness,
Okay.
take me through. Yeah, like a little bit about like. I guess what I am actually trying to say is how did you get here? how'd you get to this point? You know, like what what were the consistencies
Sure.
growing up? What led to you like going to college and all that stuff?
Um, Interesting. Okay. Well, I actually, which is I don't know if this is going to answer your question, but I would say I try to answer a lot of my day-to-day and life decisions around what would make child me happy. You know the whole like I don't feel I need to do this, but you know the whole like healing your inner child, that whole thing. And that's not what I'm saying I'm doing, but you understand the concept.
No.
Okay. Um I would say that I have somewhat I idealized my childhood self
Okay.
in my brain,
Yeah.
because I just see that as a time of like everything's fine,
Mm-hmm.
sun is shining. I feel like when I picture my childhood, I just picture like summer, honestly, pretty much.
Okay.
It's either it's a beautiful day outside and I'm just outside doing things, or I'm like in my room like making something. Like that's like all I can picture about my childhood,
Okay.
basically. And so I feel like I've idealized those aspects of childhood. Thus, when I'm like, what do I want to do with my life, or what's gonna just like make me happy right now?
Yep.
I'm like, what would make child Shelby happy? And
Right.
those are the two things that make me happy.
Those are the two
Go
things
outside.
those are the two
Sit in my
things.
room.
Real quick. Summer as a child is what would make any
Anyone
person
exactly.
happy at
That's
this point.
that's what yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like that's like what I focus around. And also really funny, I did not want to go to college,
Okay. Interesting.
but after I was basically told you're going to college,
Oh, okay.
because what are you going to do if you don't go to college?
Sure.
I saw it as my ticket out.
Okay.
I was like, well, fine. If I have to go to college, I'm going as far away as I physically can with in-state tuition.
If you wouldn't have gone to college, what would have you done?
I don't know. Probably not a lot. I do think I needed to go to college. Like, I think mentally I needed it. I needed to be like put in a different situation that still had structure, but wasn't, but like I was my own person. You know what I mean? Like for
Mm-hmm.
me, it was that middle ground of, because if I wouldn't have, I don't think I'd be doing much of, I genuinely don't think I'd be doing much of anything. Like, I just don't know what would have motivated me. I don't know like what would have interested me.
So what motivates you now?
Going outside, sitting in my room.
Okay.
No. I would say just in general. I mean, just doing anything that makes me happy.
And what makes you happy?
Just making stuff, just existing, just getting to make my own decisions on a day-to-day basis. You know what I mean? It's a lot about freedom of choice.
Okay.
It's a big one for me. Feeling like I have control over my time.
And do you feel like you have control over your time?
More often than not, yeah. And I'd say I'm trying to meet a middle ground where I'm not, where I know I should probably take some steps back and be willing to give up a little bit of my time. I think I get a little too like angry if I think other people are like demanding things of me. Not angry, but I would say I like could balance out a little bit of doing what I need to do so that I can have the time that is my time. You know what
Sure.
I mean? I do think I need to find a balance there.
Okay.
Because that was the biggest thing I hated as a child was like you feel like you don't get a say.
You don't.
Ever.
Yeah, that's fair.
And I would say that probably was like just constantly had me like really frustrated. I feel like I didn't have a say over my time. I feel like I didn't have a say over like, I mean, I had a say over what I wanted to do. Like I still did in my hobbies and stuff, but it just like never felt like that's what I enjoy now as an adult.
Yeah.
Is like I can be like, this is what I want to do with my time. And literally no one can tell me otherwise. Not even Grogu.
So true. So true. So you touched on it. You're creative.
Sure.
Quite literally.
Everything I do.
Yeah. Has to do with some sort of content creation.
Yeah.
Whether it is the lazy word used for somebody who attempts to do like YouTube or anything like that, which content
You mean
creation.
lazy word isn't just like an overarching
Yeah, because content
description?
creation, like what goes into content creation is
Oh.
so much more than just 2 words.
Oh my God, yeah.
Like there's the editing, there's the actual filming, there's the actual like
And
prep,
there's
there's
even
the
coming up with the
right,
idea. Yeah.
which I would say goes into prep, but sure.
Oh, sorry.
But like yeah, like you have the front work, you have the actual work, you have the after work.
Yeah.
Content creation makes you seem like, oh, I just talked into a microphone and that was it.
Yeah.
And it's like that's a little disingenuous of
Yeah.
a word,
I would agree.
and it has, I think, skewed the perception of anybody who were to say they're a content creator. But you're also just so much more, because like you literally do like design. You create things from very little and turn it into something, right?
Yeah.
When did that begin? When did you realize you had like a knack for the creative space, art, and like all that?
I mean, I don't know specifically. I like kind of.
No, I need an actual day.
Oh.
We're calling off this interview.
I kind of get asked this question a lot because I do, like I say on the podcast, I do in-person events where I sell my artwork and clothing. And a lot of people would be like, "How long have you been doing this?" And I'm always like, professionally speaking, over 2 years. Personally speaking, I was like, I couldn't even put a date. I couldn't put a year to it. Couldn't put a timeline to it. Which I know is not a fun answer, but I don't like trying to think of like me, like what were things I made. Like I know as a really little kid, I was like always writing stories. I was poorly choreographing dances, you know? Like I'd say like those are the things that like I started doing just cuz like in theory anyone can do the things I do. Um but I would say I now do things that do require like a little bit more of like tools and training.
Mm-hmm.
So like writing and um again just like putting on plays, putting on shows, like that's stuff that like in theory literally anyone could do because you don't need anything. And I know I vividly remember those were things I did like all the time. I mean beyond that, and then I don't even know why, but like I know I've always been into fashion. And so as soon as I gained even the bare minimum of like sewing skills, I was like, I'm going to make my own stuff. Like I'm going to do it. I'm going to figure out how to do it. And a lot of it did not work out because I did not actually have the technical skills to do any of it.
Sure.
But I just like kept saying, fuck it, I'll figure it out. I don't really know when I actually started painting. Like I always had paints around because my sister and I like did like making stuff, but I never like I don't really know why I just like decided to keep up with that. Because I never like as a kid was like I'm gonna go paint for 6 hours.
Yeah.
Like that was not my thing. Like I can't sit here and be like, oh yeah, I had this piece I made when I was 8. Like I don't think I had that.
But like when did you have the realization that like that could be your path forward in life?
Honestly, probably not until like probably late college. Genuinely.
Like late college is when you realize like
I
can just
enjoy
be a
doing it and I can keep
artist
doing it and
and
people might actually care about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Genuinely. Like I think the painting came along a lot later than I would like assume without really thinking about it.
Okay.
Cuz yeah, I just didn't again, I enjoyed painting. I enjoyed like doodling, but I never like really thought about it. It was just like something that was always there and I could just pick up if I it was mostly like, oh, I'm doing this bigger thing and something needs to be decorated for said thing. I will decorate it because we have the stuff on hand. It was more always something like that. It wasn't really like I was dedicated to painting. But now painting is like my go-to creative activity. No? You don't think so?
You wouldn't say sewing is your go-to?
I don't know. I guess I see those as like two slightly different things.
You don't really see sewing as creative?
Not as much.
Because like once you have a pattern, you're just kind of
it's kind of more
it over
yeah.
and over and over
it's more
again.
it does take creativity,
Yeah.
but I would say it's a lot more of a technical skill.
Sure. And
But
like
yeah.
art and like painting and stuff is like always
Yeah.
like net new and
Yeah.
yeah.
I
Okay.
mean, I'll say there's not technical skill involved in painting. I don't really have it, but there is definitely technical skill in that. But
Sure.
I do it truly because to me that is a purely creative activity.
I gotcha. Okay. Well, I guess kind of going somewhat off of that and shifting a tiny bit to include the fact that you do so and all that. You have your own business.
Hmm.
Is that something you actually thought you would ever have? Was it always kind of just like a dream to
Um,
have?
yeah, I would say it was always I always, especially when I like really got into fashion, like probably from the ages of like 13 to 16, I literally thought I was gonna like go to New York and like be fat. I was fashion. Fashion hasn't even seen me.
Mm-hmm.
They're so behind the curve, which is really funny. I definitely always saw myself as, if not running my own business, like I know I'm a person who needs to have a hand in as much as possible. So like I'm never content with doing like 8% of an entire thing. Like I want to be involved with, if not 100%, as much as I physically can be.
Sure.
And I'd say I've always been that type of person. So I think like, and I just know like certain friends who were very nice and supportive were always just like, oh my God, you're just like you're gonna go places. You're gonna like, I can't wait for the day I'm wearing Shelby. Like I'm wearing Shelby. Like you're gonna create something cool.
Right, your serial killer friends who said that.
Exactly. Yeah, they all, yeah. That's actually
Can't wait
why
till
we've
I'm
had to
wearing
move.
Shelby.
Yeah. No, but I'd say I had like really great supportive friends who would like say stuff like that. And whether they meant it seriously or not, I think it like helped build probably some confidence in the back of my mind that I'm like, yeah, why wouldn't I just like do my thing? You know what I mean? So not that I ever was like, yeah, I'm gonna be a business owner, but I definitely was never against it. Um, and I would say it just like kind of just happened because I've always like in the background made stuff for people. Mostly obviously like friends and family. But it was kind of just like, it honestly was COVID that like kind of pushed me to take it a little bit more seriously, because I didn't really have much else to do. And and I just was like, screw it. I'm just gonna start like promoting myself as if I'm someone you can come and get art from.
Mm-hmm.
And at that time I was making jewelry as well. Um, and it kind of just like stuck. I technically used the name I made in college. That was supposed to be what represented me as a graphic designer, but I knew I wouldn't have the ability to like just choose one thing. Um, so it's all a little bit complicated and confusing if people aren't just like seeing it in person and being like, oh, it's just all one thing. Um, but yeah, like I wanted whatever. I know it's a little bit like cliche to name your stuff like after yourself, and people have strong feelings about that, but I just saw it as like whatever I'm making is always just going to be what's interesting to me right now, and that is going to look different constantly. And like I can never guarantee what I will be doing. And so I didn't want a name to like ever make me feel stuck in something.
Sure.
But yeah. But I feel like I mean, I also is I've over the years formed a love for small businesses. And that's not to say I always need to have one, but I'm a big proponent of supporting small businesses.
Yeah.
So I like love the idea of like learning the back end so that I can just even more be like passionate about supporting other people's small businesses as well.
All right. What's one thing you wish was different?
Um one like just about my life, about
Sure.
anything.
Like what in the first 27 years do you wish maybe went a little different?
Something I wish went a little different. I guess maybe off the bat, um, which I could still do this. I I wish I still would say I'm trying to find a way to balance graphic design and art.
Mm-hmm.
And I do say art, and I am combining clothing and like my small business, I'll say.
Mm-hmm.
Um, because it is like I see I understand that it's a little confusing when people like meet me and they're like, and my website can be probably a little bit confusing in its messaging because I am open to like graphic design, but it's like, and I don't really have the capacity to start something completely on the side and be like, oh, and I do design, like, but it'll all be funneled through here. Um, so I guess maybe over the past like since even like mid college to now, if I would have maybe found a way, or I don't know if that maybe would have required different ways of networking or what, that maybe would have encouraged me to like be involved in design more than I currently am. I think there are a lot of things that could have encouraged that to be a bigger part of my life in the way I like envisioned it when I started my degree. Um, and again, I can still do that. Like I can still take the time now and start implementing that more in my day to day. But I also just my brain sees it as just another thing I have to do. And I don't, and I have a really hard time sitting at a computer for long periods of time without going crazy.
Yeah.
So that doesn't help at all.
Yeah.
I basically can sit at a computer for like 2 to 3 hours and then I have to walk away and go do something else. Which there's a lot of design aspects that can be done physically. But obviously it's just like popular. You end up normally sitting on a computer and bringing it all together. But yeah, I think that would be a big thing because I still like call myself a graphic designer because I am a graphic designer, but like I don't think I'm the graphic designer I thought I'd be.
Okay.
And so I'd say if I would have prioritized that a little bit more, because yeah, I think people like I say that to people and they're probably a little confused when they look at everything. Like, what? You're a graphic designer?
Sure.
Yeah.
All right.
It's probably a big one.
What has been the biggest surprise of your first 27 years?
Biggest surprise. Maybe that I don't know if it's a surprise, but I'd say it's a lesson I learned that I literally keep repeating to myself because it makes me feel peace is that literally no one knows what they're doing. Literally no one knows what they're doing. Not a single human being knows what they're doing. And we're all figuring it out. And that's a big thing that I think is a bit of an eye opening for anyone kind of transitioning into a more adulthood or a more independent living situation is you always just assume you're the one who doesn't know and clearly everyone else does. And or you assume certain people in your life know and you're looking to them for guidance, and that's great to look for people to guidance to people for guidance, but at the end of the day, like if they kind of can help you, it's probably because they made the same mistakes you did.
Yep.
And you're probably still going to make very similar mistakes like I think it's just that's a pattern. It's not really avoidable. I think we should be a lot more open about that because I think way too many people walk around acting like they know what's going on and so many people don't. But yeah, we're just like all figuring it out. And I think that's I'd say that's a big thing that I've heard people say like in their 20s is them like you just assume you're the dumb one. You just assume like I'm the lowest on the totem pole in the corporate world. I am just figuring it out and blah, blah, blah. But like, oh, maybe when I'm 30, I'll know.
Yeah.
And I don't think that happens. I think, yeah, you know the answers to the questions you had when you were 20, but I don't think you know. Yeah, you have new questions. Like now you just are confused about something else. Yeah. So I think kind of this like, and to me, that's comforting. I don't need the answer. Like to me, that's become an I don't need the answer. I know for some people that makes them go crazy because they want the answer.
Sure.
But
I think to your point, the way you think about it is that like we're all on the same even playing field.
Yeah.
Nobody is really any further along in having the answers.
Right. And again, in any answer that they have that you want, they're now just seeking out other answers. Right. They're not like done. They're not done. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I really hate this like, and I think teenagers really feel it. I think 20-year-olds really feel it, but I also think anyone can feel it. Is you just constantly feel like you're the one not getting it or that you're behind or this and that.
Honestly, you probably feel that way until you've got like, less than or equal to 5 years left. And at which point you are like, it's very few people are further than you at that point.
Right. Right.
But I'm sure even like well into your 50s, you still have people who have been around longer, and you see them as people who know better because they have gone through what you're currently going through.
Exactly.
So no matter what, so like parents versus grandparents, right? Like their, if you think about their relationship, and how like they'll sometimes, talk to each other about
Right.
certain things, and it's like one of the only times you'll see your parents uh in infantilized,
Infantized or
infantized,
yeah.
whatever that word is.
You in that moment
That's
might
the only time you see somebody kind of talk down to
your
their
parents.
parents.
Yeah.
Not necessarily in like a negative
Yeah, yeah,
way,
yeah.
more so literally how your parents talk to you.
Yeah.
Where it's like, I literally, I just know.
You're like, "Oh,
You'll,
we're all just kids listening to the people above us." That's
exactly.
what we all are at different ages.
And it literally lasts forever. It's a
Yeah.
really, really great thing to think about.
Again, to me, it brings me comfort. I also think of it in the reverse in terms of like when I am talking to younger people who feel really overwhelmed and oh, like people, like I've literally had my own sister say, I just feel like you and your friends know what you're doing. And I laughed because I was like, girl, we have no idea what we're doing. And
Right.
you're going to feel the same way in 5 years. Like it looks like it because you're looking up and you're going, wow. But and I know and I it can cause a lot of that really annoying generational rift because we, of course, once we feel we have the answer, we get one answer that we've been seeking out, and now we're like, oh, you just don't get it, you don't have the answer. Like I feel like some people can be uppity about it, and that really drives me crazy because it's like you were in that same position, like shut up.
Yeah.
I hate that. I hate like talking down to people. I hope I never come across that way. I just get it that we're all figuring it out and we're all going about it differently. And yeah. So I try to like it's all about honestly, I mean, it's really cliche, but it's about having compassion for yourself, for others, et cetera, et cetera. But yeah, that's when like my heart extra goes out to like people younger who are like, cause I literally know and I get that like you're feeling frustrated and like confused and you want all these things. And it's like, you're just trying to figure it out. And like you look to people who are older for answers and it's like, a lot of us don't have the answers.
Yeah.
I get what you're feeling. I'll help you where I can, but like you kind of just gotta feel it out.
Yeah.
You gotta feel it out. But yeah, I'd say that's a big like shock a lot of people feel in this time period of life. Sorry, I know I really went down a tangent on that one.
Listen, this is all about you. 2 more questions.
Okay.
1, what is your biggest like want?
My biggest want. I'm stuck between 2 things.
Okay.
I know that's
what are
not
your
fair.
2 biggest wants?
And
I mean it from the sense of like something you don't have.
Yeah.
And you just want it.
Yeah.
And that can be literally anything.
Yeah. A dog.
Okay.
Through and through. I thought the minute I graduated college I was gonna get a dog. That would have been really not smart.
Yeah.
So good I didn't, but thought I was going to. No, yeah, just that. Just a dog. That's what I want.
What's your other one?
I was thinking about like what I want in life. I was going and I was not so much like itemized.
That's fine.
But in general, I just like don't want to feel rushed. I don't want to feel like stressed.
But do you feel rushed?
Like so somewhat.
Okay.
I could feel more rushed for sure. I'm not saying I'm like peak
Gotcha.
Stress, but I think that's like my goal in life.
Yeah.
Is just to not feel rushed.
Like, because like, that's why I wanted to try and be clear about the question. Because I think it's very easy to hear like, what's your want? And it's like, if somebody were to ask me that, it's like very blanket statement would be like, well, I just want to be happy.
Yeah.
But
right.
It's like,
right.
But I am happy.
Right. Same. Right.
So it's like, that's why I wanted to say like, what's something you don't have?
Yeah.
That you specifically want. Dog's a good one. Also, the fact that you brought up how you wanted a dog fresh out of college, and it would have been a really stupid.
It would have been really
thing
dumb
to do.
Yeah.
But whatever. How many cases of that do you think you have in your life where you've wanted something, ultimately you didn't get it, and through and through, it was for
it was
the better?
good. I would say if there's anything I say I wanted and don't have or didn't do, it was probably mostly like a body modification, knowing me, like whether it was wanting an impulse tattoo, wanting an impulse like piercing. Because of course when I was like 16 and wanted to be emo, I thought that was like how to be the coolest person in the world was to have tattoos and piercings. I still low key kind of think that. But I would say I meant to bring this up in our like either our hit dating history or our whatever. I think when I posed the question of what do you think would be different if we weren't together, I think when I first thought of that question, I was going to laugh and be like, not only just like my living situation obviously would be very different, but I'm like, me personally probably would have made 10 times the amount of bad impulsive decisions because normally I like treat you as my sounding board. And even though I
Mm-hmm.
know you low key hate it because I'm normally just wanting someone to agree with me, even though I know people should disagree with me because I'm
Mm-hmm.
being impulsive and annoying.
Mm-hmm.
I know you hate it, but you have in a good way made me think through most of my decisions. And then I only do ones that I actually realize I want to do. And I'd say I've gotten better. I'm not as impulsive as I used to be.
Sure.
But I would say, yeah, I would probably have a really dumb amount of like dumb tattoos, dumb pierce. And I say dumb as in like, I just don't want them anymore or I would think differently about them now. Like I would have the very stereotypical like, oh my god, I got these the minute I turned 18 and like now I don't want them 7 years later or 10 years later whatever. I would have a lot of those, I think.
Okay.
If I think those are my biggest category in my life of wants that were very in the moment and I would say I wanted them so bad. Like I wanted an eyebrow piercing for a really, really long time. Um I was even debating I thought dermals were really cool. You get a little just like stud in your like body. Yeah, like I just thought all that shit was so cool. Like I would have had just an obscene amount of shit like that, which I'm not saying I would like totally regret it, but I would say I don't want those things anymore. And it's probably fine that I didn't get them. I can't really think of anything else though. In terms of wants. Those are probably my biggest level of like obsessive. I want to go out and do this or get this.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Actual last question.
Okay.
You're 27.
I'm 27, almost.
30. So close. What are you hoping? It's 3 years.
Yeah.
Simultaneously, a lot of time and not a lot of time.
Correct.
Depending on scale.
Sure.
What is the biggest thing you hope is different?
When I'm 30.
Or what's like the biggest change you're hoping for between now and 3 years from now when you turn 30?
Biggest difference. Well, besides having a dog, because
Okay.
damn, if there's not a dog by the time I'm 30, it's gonna be a little sad. Besides that, probably just I hope by 30 I have mildly more dependable work situations. Not that I really see the freelance world getting any better. Maybe I just feel like I have more of a grasp,
Sure.
maybe more connections, maybe more things in that nature. And I'd say along those lines, I hope to just feel more involved in like any type of creative community by the time I'm 30. Because I feel like that's what I've been that was like my favorite part about college, I'd say. And I'd say I found parts of that in the places we've lived, but we haven't been anywhere long enough to really, really get involved in anything.
Yeah.
So the hope, whether that's here, whether that's somewhere else,
I was gonna say, what do you think?
I don't know.
Do you hope for one thing or the other?
Not really. I'm kind of which doesn't help everything I just said. I wouldn't be mad if we're still here. And I probably wouldn't be mad if we're somewhere else. Like I don't really feel super strongly one way or the other. I'm really enjoying like the communities we're finding here slowly but surely. And I think something like really cool is happening here that I would love to be a part of. But I also know like there's cool shit happening everywhere. So like I would just find stuff elsewhere as well. But yeah, I don't know. think that's kind of it. I just want to feel by 30 like not that I'm saying I like need new friends, but I just want to feel like more of a part of a local community, that not all the people we're talking to are like miles away, like hundreds of miles away, and those are our only network
Yeah.
of people. Not that I obviously still want to be a part of that as well, but I hope something a little more local exists and I feel like a part of it by the time I'm 30.
Sure.
That's what I'd say.
All right.
Yeah. You had much better questions than I did.
Well, all the questions you asked me were douchey and about video games. You were having a laugh. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Let's just make Spencer a big old punching bag.
No.
Yeah, I take this shit seriously. It's something that a lot of people don't realize about me.
You take shit seriously?
Yeah.
I know you take shit
I'm a
seriously.
content creator.
Yeah, you're a content creator.
I just talk into a microphone. Oh, all right. Well, that's all I had.
Thanks. I appreciate it. I really had no idea what you were gonna do when you said you got a surprise. I totally forgot I interviewed you. So, props to you.
Get faced.
Anyway, thank you all for being here and for
You gonna plug your like small business?
Oh, I can. If you're interested, I guess yeah, that would have made sense. If you're interested, I sell art and upcycled clothing out of secondhand materials. And it is all at the name Shelby Lynn Lives, which is always the social that is tagged in the description because I don't really exist on the internet outside of that. So that's always in the description along with Spencer's social. And it's always, if you're watching YouTube, what comes off on the lower third whenever we start. Which if you're like YouTube, yeah, SMSoup's on YouTube if that's where you prefer to watch podcasts. We should be on pretty much all streaming services. And you can find us at SMSoup Podcast on YouTube, on Instagram, on TikTok, until TikTok doesn't exist anymore, if that ever even happens. So thank you all for being here. Please like, rate, whatever the hell. Tell people they should listen and watch. Tell people it's Shelby's birthday, so they have to listen and watch legally. So, and we'll be back next week where I convince Spencer to become a birthday boy. I think it's gonna be great.
I think it's not.
The end.